All right, Federalist Foster here to talk to you guys about Federalist number 10 by James Madison, which is all about factions. So our enduring understanding for Federalist 10 is a balance of governmental power and individual rights has been a hallmark of American political development. Remember that there's a balance between how much power the government should have and how much freedom the American people should have. So basically, Federalists argued that the formation of several different factions or groups provides the country with diversity and actually protects minority rights by forcing compromise. The more groups that are formed, the less likely that tyranny would occur. And that's that concept of pluralism. So factions, as Madison defines them, they're groups of people who are united by common impulse that with ideas that are adverse to the community as a whole. So basically, they have beliefs that maybe go against what's best for society or the community as a whole. The main ideas in Federalist number 10, basically Federalist 10 is all about describing factions, defining them, and explaining what's the cure for them. So basically Madison says that factions are inevitable. You really can't destroy them unless you destroy liberty. So we basically have to find something to manage them. And basically he gets through the document, he goes through all the other possibilities, and he comes to the solution of a large republic as being the best form of government to address factions. Basically his arguments are that it's too difficult for any one faction to gain power, so there's less likely for corruption. Maybe you could have a faction take hold in a small part of that area and take over, but if it's a large area, much more difficult to do so. So the main idea in Federalist 10 is also that concept of pluralism. You have many factions or many groups competing for influence, and that leads to basically the only the best ideas being enacted for society. Also basically says it prevents tyranny of the majority, also that the best and brightest will be elected under that representative government. So we're going to get the best laws and policies because the best of society will be elected to then represent us in the Congress and the presidency. So how and when did we see this in class? For Federalist number 10, we saw this in August in our Unit 1, and we basically read excerpts of Federalist 10, and I had you guys answer some questions about that. How could we use this document in an argument essay? It could be used to connect to that concept of pluralism. You've got many groups competing for power and that allowing those groups to check each other so no one group dominates. You could explain why the founders were advocates of why a large republic would be the best solution to the problem for factions. You could use this to defend republics and representative governments. Could also use it to explain the arguments of the Federalists about why they needed to ratify and approve the new Constitution. And lastly, you could also explain why the rights of the minority are protected in the Constitution throughout the document. Okay, so that's it for our overview on Federalist number 10. You can follow me on Twitter @FederalistFoster. And as always, keep calm and Viking on.